Hey everybody, that was Let It Go by Young Zuck. And real quick, we want to give a shout out to Dawn Hinton, who's not in the chat room today because she's having gallbladder surgery. So we just want to wish her well.
It's going to go well. We don't have to wish
Send her love, and we'll see her next week.
It's going to go well. And you know what? Young Zuck is a great guy in person. He's one of our favorite friends. But I don't like rap music, but I like his rap music because it's fun. Some rap I don't get. Anyway, some Young Zuck, I think.
Check it out, you guys. He's very cool, and he's on Instagram and TikTok, so you can follow him at Young Zuck.
And I think his music is really good.
All right, so now we're going to bring on our next guest, Linda Steele, who hasn't been on since, I don't know, sometime during COVID. So let's bring her on and see if we can hear her. Hey!
There you are. Woo! Here we go.
Say something.
I'm so happy to be here. Oh my gosh.
There we go. Oh, we got to do something.
Why are you so dressed to the neck?
Yeah.
I'm in Chicago and it just snowed 6 inches here.
Oh.
But I wrote on Facebook that you were coming on and for all the guys to watch the show. And now we have all these guys watching the show saying, Ron Russell, drop dead.
So you guys, Linda Steele, believe it or not, her Instagram is Linda Steele Fit Bod because she's got one of the most banging bods on the planet.
And she's hiding it.
And she's hiding it, but that's okay because all you got to do is Google Linda Steele and hit images, and all the pictures come up because she is a superstar body. We should brag a little.
So I want to just say to all you guys that I said to tune in, you're going to check her out. Look at the face. You don't necessarily have to look at the body all the time. Look at the face.
And the brains that go with it. Right. So you guys, Linda Steele, 18 years as a certified elite trainer, nutrition expert, exercise therapist, senior fitness expert, and she's got the dopest, coolest, high heel collection you will ever see, which if you watch our show, last time she was on, she took us through her closet and showed them all. And this time she's coming on because not only is she all these things, but she has a brand new book, just came out last week. The name of it is Nerves of Steel, a memoir by Linda Steele. And we're going to talk about the book as well as a bunch of other things. But the book is available now on Amazon. It went way up to the top of the charts its first day out. I don't know. How high did it go?
I hit an international bestsellers list.
There you go. So she hit an international bestsellers list first day out. And it's a great book. And actually, if you look at the book at the very beginning of the book, in the endorsements, there's an endorsement. Ron and I both have endorsements in here. Maybe we'll read one of them later. But hello and welcome back. Yay!
And I haven't read your book yet.
Thank you.
I have about 7 books ahead of you. I mean, other books, other friends of ours that have been on the show. I have so many books ahead. And next week, our guest is one of the mafiosa guys who was a killer.
Johnny Russo.
And he sent us 2 books. I mean, when I fly, I read a book because what else do you do when you fly but read a book? So now I'll be reading your book and everybody's book because Jimmy and I are going to be doing a lot of flying in the next 6 months. And then I'll let you know.
I read it, though.
How did you read it so fast?
I didn't read it. I didn't read this copy. She sent me a copy, to read on the computer.
Oh, because this book just came.
Yeah, it just came yesterday, Sunday.
I mean, I couldn't read it.
So you guys,
I didn't even go through it, so I know nothing about it. So you're going to have to tell me all about the book.
I'll tell you everything.
Just a little bit, and then I'm going to read a little bit off the back of it.
I have no idea what it's about.
Okay. You let me know when to start.
Go, start.
Go.
My book is about, it's about a bunch of different things, but really it's essentially about childhood trauma and how it affects our adult relationships. So a lot of times what happens is we have this childhood trauma. It's always there. It never really goes away. And as we grow older, we tend to take some of the aspects that happen to us as children and we kind of tie it into our adult relationships. We have trust issues. We have things that trigger us, things that bother us. We have our guard up for certain things, and we wind up with in a relationship, and people wonder, what in the hell? What did I do to deserve that? So we sometimes wind up in relationships that are toxic. We create them ourselves. We're afraid to get close with people because of how we've been hurt in the past, and so my book is about that. It's about then being stuck in toxic relationships. How do you get out of them? Some people get stuck in them and they never get out because they're afraid to leave. And I show a couple different scenarios of relationships that I had been in and steps that I had to take in order to find my way out and move on to the next step.
That's an important thing that you just said, though, because you guys, this is a memoir, so this is an all revealing book of Linda's childhood and the different things that she went through as a child and how she overcame all these different things to become the person that she is today. It's very, very interesting. I think people will like it. I want to read the little thing off the back, but go ahead. You were going to say something.
I am stuck in a relationship, and I love it.
No, you are. I admire your relationship so much.
Yeah, Jimmy and I are married 10 years, and you know what? It feels like the first day. It's really amazing. I've had 3 relationships in my life, very long, many year relationships. I've been married all my life. Since 19, I've been married, and living with Jimmy is probably the most exciting, wonderful, loving, because Jimmy's a kind, dear, affectionate, romantic man. And I'm happy as hell. What about you?
Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. You could embellish that a little bit, you fucking prick. Now, you know,
no, he's the one. First of all, he's the only one I ever married.
Now I'm pissed off. Now I'm pissed off, Linda. Could you lend me $3,500 to divorce him?
He's so cute. Isn't he the cutest thing you've ever seen? So you guys, I'm going to read the back of the book real quick. Emerging from deep-rooted mental, physical, and emotional pain can be difficult. Thriving after it can seem nearly impossible, but it's not. We can escape the destructive, hurtful emotions that seem as if they can swallow us whole and convert that negative energy into the resiliency and fortitude needed to live life to the fullest. In Nerves of Steel, which is the greatest title ever, by the way. What a great, with the way you did it with your last name. First-time author Linda Steele takes the reader on a personal and emotional journey to show how she not only emerged from pain, but transformed it into strength, power, compassion, and love. Through her story, she demonstrates that with time and persistent, tireless work, anything is possible. This book will inspire and empower the reader to be better, to do better, and to live better. None of it is easy, but the best things in life never are. And
it sounds like this book can help you get out of a rut. So if you're in a relationship that's toxic or abusive, get the hell out. It's better to be alone than in bad company, we were taught.
That's what we find out after the fact. But the problem is most people are afraid to get out of it. A lot of people, some people, and this happened to me, I got stuck in a relationship a couple times where I didn't think I could make it on my own. Number one, you become dependent on somebody, sometimes financially. And that's the scary part, because you get used to this lifestyle and you get used to, having all these things, and you realize this is not working for me. This mistreatment is not good. It doesn't outweigh the good, or outweighs the good. So you think, oh my gosh, I don't want to be in this relationship. But at the same time, it's so scary getting out, because you don't know the unknown. And you know what, a lot of times we become empaths, and when you're an empath, you start making excuses for people's bad behavior, and you start overlooking certain things, and you start going, well, not that you blame yourself. Some abusive women are like, oh, I had that coming. I was never like that. I never thought I deserved it, but I always made excuses. Well, they had a bad childhood, or they had a bad day at work, or things are so.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really hate that when people pull that stunt.
Yeah, but it's not crazy. One relationship that I had to leave, I had 3 little kids and a brand new built home, and I didn't want to move my kids out of their what was familiar to them. I tried to make it as painless as possible, but I wasn't even working at the time. How am I going to keep this big home and these 3 little kids? I don't even have a job yet. So I had to come up with a 5-year plan to get out of my marriage. And that was difficult. That 5 years seemed like a lifetime. And then I had to leave a relationship again after that. And that took some time and planning as well. So it's
if you're treating or calling if you're treating your spouse as a meal ticket, never going to happen, because you're going to be miserable. It's never going to work. It's never going to last. Mm-hmm. Because treating them as a meal ticket is using the person for their funds, and you have to give so much to that person that's not real. So you're living a lie, and there's nothing more dreadful than living a lie.
For sure. You don't realize how much happier you can be, even without the lifestyle, even without the money and the gifts, and that self-worth that you get back when you're not mistreated. Oh my gosh, you can't put a value on that.
So hang on.
Peace of mind.
So hang on real quick. We have a chat room that's filling up. Lots of your fans are in there. So first of all, say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi everybody. Thanks for being here.
So we have Serena Lynn. I'm saying that I think you're gonna know these people. So you can say hi afterwards. Kayla Goodwin.
Yes.
And also, hold on. I think somebody said they're your mother. Maybe. What's your mom's name?
Barbara Biancalana.
Yeah, she's there too. Say hi to Mom. Hi, Mom. Your daughter's hot.
That's something you tell a mother. Isn't he stupid? You tells your mother she's hot.
But it's okay. I'm gay. I'm not hitting on her. I'm just saying she's hot.
A mom wants to hear your daughter's a lady.
Your daughter is a lady, and she's beautiful,
well-spoken,
and she's very well,
and she's very well
she's
raised.
successful.
She was raised by a lovely person.
My mom's my biggest cheerleader. I swear, she's so great, and she's been with me through thick and thin.
I could tell that.
Yeah,
no, I think it's terrific.
So, it shows.
So what is the responses to the people from the book so far? I mean, now it's only been out a week, right? Not even a week.
It's been out a week, and I'm telling you, the reaction I'm getting from this book, I never even expected it. I'm getting long messages from people, DMs, emails, text messages from clients I haven't seen in years, and they're telling me, even strangers are even telling me, Linda, oh my gosh, reading this book brought me back to my own childhood. This was the relationship that I had with my father, and it was this and it was that. And I can't believe, that I'm not alone. I'm not that I want to see you go through that, but the fact that other people have gone through it when you feel so alone at the time. I had one woman, she sent me screenshots of pages of my book where she was highlighting, underlining, and taking notes in the margins. She said, this is such a self-help such a situation for me, and I was flattered and so honored and so humbled by the reaction that I received. I'm just blown away.
So you guys, the book is available on Amazon, Amazon.com. Again, the name of the book is Nerves of Steel, a memoir by Linda Steele. It's got all 5-star reviews on Amazon. I also saw you have a website. I don't know if they can get it off there, but can they go to nervesofsteel.net and get the book or no?
If they go to nervesofsteel.net, I believe it routes them into the Amazon link.
Okay, so the website is nervesofsteel.net, and then Linda's actual website for her physical fitness. It's really not just physical fitness though, because you teach people how to eat, you teach people how to do everything. But it's but that website is lindasteelhotbod.com, which I love.
Mm-hmm. You can get to it also lindasteelwellness.com.
Oh, well, see, I didn't even know that one.
I'm rebranding, and we're doing some new things, and so you can get to it either way.
lindasteelwellness.com.
I haven't read your book, so I'm assuming this. You've written about your childhood affecting your marriage. Have you? Is it in the book? I'd like to give you a little advice on that. When I think of things that my parents did to me that I didn't like, I would catch myself and not do it with my daughters. As goes with Jimmy. There are times I become my father, who was a ruthless Italian, very strict, old-fashioned. And sometimes I find myself falling into that pattern, and I quickly say, no, Ron, you didn't like it. He's not going to like it. So be honest with yourself, folks. And don't say, oh, my parents, I love them, I can't talk bad about them. Baloney. You could talk bad about your parents. If they sucked and they didn't do the right thing, admit it, understand it, just don't do it.
Right. That's true. My mom, she read the book once. I had her go over it with me one time before I approved, last minute changes. And she was pretty upset about it. She did not, our brain purposely forgets a lot of the shit that goes on, during rough times. It's our own, protective, mechanism, coping mechanism that we have. And so my mom, a lot of these things came to light, and she purposely tried to forget them as well. And she felt really bad. And I tried explaining to her that she was in the same situation. The whole premise of this book is people getting stuck in situations and not knowing what to do. My mom was in a situation out of survival. She didn't have the tools that I had, being educated and being having a bigger support system. Her mom and dad didn't even live in the state. She didn't have a support system that I did that allowed me to be able to cut ties, leave, and move on. And the guilt that she carries because of that that was not what I intended on doing by writing this book. The purpose of this book was for people to see how many generations of people get stuck in situations. And one of the important things that I say in my book is leaving a toxic situation is not quitting. It's survival. We're all just trying to survive. But the only way she knew how to survive was to stay. She was looking for a good roof over my head. She didn't want to move me into an apartment or a Section 8 or something. She just had a 9-to-5 regular job. And so I'm not trying to make excuses for her. I'm just trying to explain this whole point of my book. People get stuck like she did. And it doesn't make sense. It just makes her stuck.
How do you feel about people that say, well, I'm in a rotten marriage, but we stay together for the children?
Hate that.
Me
because
too.
The kids feel it. And the quicker you get out of it, the better. My parents divorced when I was 2. I have no recollection of them being married. And you'll never hear me say boo-hoo because of my parents' divorce. I'm, a big fuck up. You'll never hear me say that. And I don't know. I mean, I'm no expert. I'm no therapist here, but I'm guessing it seems as though people I know whose parents divorced sooner than later, they're better, equipped.
Also, we want to say hi real quick. Casey Plott just joined us. I don't know. Do you know the Scene Snobs podcast? Anyway,
no.
So hey, Casey. Casey joined us. Ian Smith joined us. Somebody else joined us. A bunch of people just joined us. So we want to just say hi, everybody. This is Linda Steele. Her brand new book is called Nerves of Steel, a memoir. She's a fitness guru, 18 plus years. And you can get the book at Amazon or lindasteelwellness.com or nervesofsteel.net, and you can find out about her as a workout. What do you call you? Because what do you actually call fitness? You're not, because it's not just fitness. So what do you call yourself?
I'm a fitness expert, well-being expert, nutrition expert, a little bit of everything. I guess it all kind of has its own. It's Linda Steele Wellness is like the umbrella of fitness, nutrition, and well-being.
Okay, so basically anything to make to take care of yourself, actually to take care of your body. Which, by the way, like one thing that we've done, like
don't do that.
Okay.
I have a way of doing that. Hang on, honey.
Okay, go.
One word question, my darling.
Yes.
Sugar.
Would you call me?
Sugar. I'm not calling you sugar. I'm just using sugar.
What about it?
Well, you tell me what you think about sugar.
Well, there's different kinds of sugar. I mean, your body needs some carbohydrates, are sugar and you need it for energy. But there is certain, if you're talking about like sweets and so forth, those are empty calories. Those are the kind of sugars they burn off quickly, but at the same time, those are the ones that are most detrimental to you. So I would try to get your sugar in the form of like fruits, vegetables, things like that. Try to stay from that other.
Jimmy and I have given up all sugar, and I'm trying to get Jimmy to get off of toxic food, but he falls back and goes to all these awful hamburger.
It's hard to give it all. I lived on
hamburger
sugar.
Plates.
I used to drink 2 to 4 liters of Coke a day. So for me to cut it
You're
all out is very difficult.
Did you know if you drink 1 glass of Coca-Cola a day for a year, you have consumed 50 pounds of sugar? That's a fact. It was on TV. 50 pounds of sugar has gone through your bladder and your kidneys.
So we used to eat a lot of sugar. We've cut it like way, way down. I mean, I still eat fruits and every once in a while, like once a week.
Sodas are the worst thing that you could drink is soda.
But in the meantime, too, he's lost a bunch of weight and I've lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, I like it.
I think I used to weigh 216 and now I weigh 180.
Oh my gosh. Both of you look a little leaner than when I met you in LA.
Yeah. Definitely, we're leaner than we were.
Right now, I look fat. The shirt, I have a pillow behind my back because this chair hurts. I'm sitting in a chair that has a wooden back that's all carved, and I think I have the carved back now imprint in my back. But I am thin.
You don't eat sugar though, right? Or do you have do you take a cheat day or anything, and have a cupcake or a piece of cake ever, or no?
I do. As a matter of fact, I found myself having some chocolate every single day at the end of my day, and I tried to cut that out myself. And there were a few things that I cut out, and I was going for 30, 45 days. No alcohol, which I rarely drink anyway, but I wanted to go to 0. No alcohol, no red meat, no sugar, the sweets. And I made it, like 2 weeks, and then it was like I was celebrating something, and I wound up cheating. And then I went another week or two, and I wound up at a situation where I was at a steakhouse, and yes, I could have picked chicken. Yes, I could have picked fish, but I was at the steakhouse that I was, dying to go to for, months. Finally, I wound up there. So I had steak again. So I haven't actually completed 30 days of this, giving up stuff, but I just think it's great for inflammation. It's great for, to get your body back into a balance. You want to get your body into a balance so it starts functioning properly. We start becoming dependent on those sugars that we really don't want, and you want your body to start running properly. And like I said, the inflammation, that's like a big buzzword right now, but it's real. It's real, and it's amazing how much better you start to feel when you start cutting out these certain things.
Okay, so wait.
I really feel better. We have more energy. We sleep better.
Yep.
My thinking is better. Now, if I get rid of this Meryl Streep wig look from Devil Wears Prada, I mean, I look like Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada.
Wait, I want to ask a question.
Don't I look like it?
How much, how like when you go to the doctor, they give you your body mass index? Like mine, I think was like 28%. The doctor basically told me like I was obese, and like I don't see myself as obese. When I go to Walmart, I see obese. But but they're telling me, like at 28%, it's like way too high, and I need to get it down. So I need to lose. I weigh 180, and they want me to weigh like between 170 and 175. So I'm working on it because I was 216.
It's how
much like body? Because like I've seen like what you look like in workout clothes. Like how much body fat, like, or what's your BMI or whatever? Like, do you have a lot of body fat?
First of all, I'm not a big fan of BMI.
Okay, good.
Doctor's offices, they had to come up with some kind of formula, and they do it by your height versus weight, and they say, boom, this is what your BMI is. And it's not fair, because I know a lot of shorter people who are just enormous. They work out like crazy, and they're eating right, and they're lean. But because of their weight versus their height, because it's off a little bit, they come out as obese. And they're,
okay.
Do calipers on them, they wind up with like 7% body fat. So it's ridiculous. That BMI, don't worry about that. Don't pay attention to that. It's a good guideline for someone who doesn't really go to the gym and they don't really work out. It's a guideline. But for somebody like you, I wouldn't worry about that. If I were you, I'd go to a gym, just at your local gym, and ask if somebody can give you a body fat test with calipers. I try to keep mine. If I'm heading up to a photo shoot, I try to keep mine about 11, 12%. That's fairly low to maintain all year round. So all year round, I'm more like 15 to 19%. That's where I try to keep it.
Oh, wow.
How do you get rid of belly fat?
I track my food. I make sure that I'm eating a 40-40-20 split with my food. I work out 3 times a week, starting with 20 minutes of rigorous cardio, 10 minutes of abs, and about 45 minutes to an hour of weightlifting. My workout program is based on a 3-day-a-week split: biceps and triceps one day, shoulder, back, chest one day, leg one day, and I give those body parts an entire week to rest, recover, and build before I hit them again.
I love that.
What's your advice for me? I'm 82 years old. I'll be 83 soon. What should a person my age do to exercise?
I would do the same program that I teach all of my clients. I would lighten up on the weights. I would work some extra stability for you. I would have you do things, like your bicep curls would be a lighter weight, but you'd be standing on a Bosu ball doing it to make sure that we get your stabilizers set. As we start to age, we start to lose our balance a little bit, and we start falling and breaking things. So my entire goal with you would be just to keep you safe and salvage your joints. So I go easy on the weights, higher on the reps, throw in some Bosu balls, some stabilizer exercises. That's what I do for you.
You're a believer in people my age exercising.
Oh yes, absolutely. I train clients into their 80s. I mean that it would be silly for you to stop now. You feel like shit. You stop using things. You start hurting. So you want to keep moving. You want to keep moving. But range of motion is so very important.
There's an old saying: use it or lose it.
Yes.
So I want to go back to the book. You guys, again, the book is called Nerves of Steel. So you have, I think, 3 kids? You have 3 kids, or do you have more than 3?
Daughters. One of them is listening now. That's my Kayla Goodwin.
Oh, okay. Hey, Kayla.
You are so gorgeous on this
know.
cover. You look like a movie star on this cover. I mean, you are This is a beautiful picture of.
So I want to know. So what did your kids think of the book,
everybody.
and how is your relationship with your kids based on everything that you learned growing up in the trials and tribulations you went through? Like, how is everything with your kids, and what do they think of the book?
My relationship with my daughters is phenomenal. I'm a mom when I need to be a mom. I'm a friend when I need to be a friend. I get great feedback from them. They are only one of them read the book through. She's the one who's watching. There were some parts that she chose not to read. I did the best I could, not making their father look too bad, because he was also young when we got married, and his behavior was he was acting like a 24-year-old behaved. It just so happened that this particular 24-year-old had a family to support, so it was unacceptable. But so I did the best I could, not making their dad look bad. And by the way, he has made up for a lot of lost time. He and I are actually friends now, and yeah, and it's amazing because you wouldn't know that by that book, right?
Right.
I thought I would have drowned him by now, but I didn't. I didn't. He's just one of those guys that he walks in the room and people like him. So and he's the father of my daughter. So out of respect for my daughters, out of respect for me, he and I get along. And but my daughter had a hard time. She realized, she sent me a text and she said, all I have to say is wow. She said, I knew a lot of this, but I didn't realize how badly it affected you. And she said, and I just can't imagine, had you not made the decisions that you made during this time of your life, where we would be today. She said, I just, I respected you before. I respect you more now. She said, wow, is all I can say.
We also have some Serena Lynn joined us, and Jan Axford, who wrote "Lynn's is even more beautiful on the inside," which is a beautiful thing to say.
That's nice.
And it's true.
Yep.
And I think that
Jan was one of my first friends I met when we moved to Wheeling, and she experienced my entire childhood with me. Jan's actually in the book.
Yeah, I thought she sounded familiar because I just read this not that long ago.
Yeah.
So how long did it take to write this book?
Took me 3 years.
Oh wow!
It doesn't seem like it should have taken me that long. The reason it took that long is because you can see how emotional it was.
Yes.
What happens is you get yourself, you think, okay, I have nothing to do this weekend. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write this book. You start writing, and it brings you to this place where your brain purposely made you dumb, right? And now you find yourself back in this awful place. You're like, oh, I don't like it here. So you write what you can, you put it away. And even if you were free the next night, you think, you know what? I don't really want to go back there. I actually kind of like the mood I'm in now. I don't want to go back there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept putting it off. I liked where I was. And it just took me a long time. It took me a long time to take it all in and remember all those awful things. And yeah.
I'm presently writing a book, and it's titled "A Little of This and a Little of That About Hollywood." It's my relationship with all the celebrities that I've known and growing up from 19 to where I am today. And I was married for 16 years. And in writing my book, I thought, oh my God, were you a sucker, a schmuck, an idiot? For 16 years, you were pursuing your wife, begging her to love you because she was a cold bitch. She was a frozen stone. She gave up her kids and never saw them until she died. So she was really a horrible woman, but lovely. I mean, a nice person, but just cold. Didn't care about me or her children or her family, her mother, anyone. And in reading that, I said to myself, Ron, you were in that marriage 16 years too long. Had nothing with me being a bisexual man. Nothing at all. People think, oh, you got divorced because she found out you were gay. No, we talked about it. She knew I liked both, but it was her. So I advise you guys out there, if you have to constantly adore, worship, give, guess what? It gets tiring.
Mm-hmm.
And you stop because you say, I can't give you anymore. I've given you all, and you're not getting it back. And I loved my wife very much. And that's why I was always being her fan. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you can't make somebody want to be with you. I found myself doing that myself. That first relationship that I was in, I tried to make him want to come home. I tried to make him want to. I realized I can't make you want to be with me. And once you finally come to that realization, it becomes a lot easier. But you have to. No one can tell you. You have to know when it's time yourself.
I think she was content being with me because we owned a beautiful house with a swimming pool and beautiful cars, and she had lovely jewelry, furs, and dresses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think her life was good. At one point, I said to her, Joanne, don't you miss anything about our marriage? And she said, I miss my clothes because clothes are so expensive now. That's the kind of woman. She was a beauty. She was a model. She was a Dutch girl, very beautiful.
I think you showed me a picture of her when I went out.
Gorgeous, beautiful figure.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's basically the same thing that she was saying
yeah,
too at the beginning.
my wife had an argument with her mother and didn't talk to her mother until she died. She fought with her brother and never spoke with him. She hated my mother because my mother called her and knew what she was. My mother called her an alley cat. She said, you're an alley cat because you had 2 daughters and you don't give a damn about them. You're going to walk away? Because she let me I raised my daughters. She didn't want them.
I remember you saying.
She signed the paper at the lawyer's office saying, because I said, listen, Joanne, I'm moving back to California for work, and I need your permission to take the kids out of state. And my lawyer said, well, just make her sign them over to you. Then you can do whatever you want. And she clicked the pen without even reading it and signed it.
Oh.
No, she was a piece of work. I hate talking about it because my kids might see this show, which I doubt. But I've never been I've never been a parent that talked bad about the other because it would only damage and hurt my kids.
Well, that's the whole purpose why we don't. But, they do figure it out eventually. Usually, if parents can actually keep their mouths shut long enough about, the significant other or the ex-significant other, the kids always figure it out. It's just very difficult for us because a lot of times we get thrown under the bus. There are plenty of times that my kids would come to me with something and I would be enraged because whatever it was that was said about me wasn't true. And I, as much as I wanted to fight back, I would hold my tongue, but there were times I fought back and I'm sorry that I did. I wish I hadn't done it because eventually everybody figures everybody out anyway. I'm not perfect either. Their father wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. But, if parents, just if you're listening, if you could just keep your mouth shut long enough, don't worry. The kids figure everything out.
Kids are so much smarter now too. I think they grow up so much quicker.
My daughter Deirdre was on, I think Phil Donahue, I forgot what show she was on, and it was about parents that abandon their children. And my daughter she's a wonderful speaker. She's an actress as well. And Deirdre said, I consider my mother a birth canal. That's all.
Wow.
And then she went on to discuss more about it. Both my children never felt loved by her. I took them shopping for their Easter clothing. I bought them all their whatever they needed. She just was a woman that was self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
And
and who knows what her childhood was like?
I know her mother was a barmaid.
Because we got like 2 minutes.
So her mother was a barmaid who brought men home and slept with them, and my wife had to see that. I suspect that my mother-in-law got drunk and one of those men molested my wife.
Oh, geez.
I think she was molested at 14 or 13.
Did your kids follow? Are they like following in your do they do fitness stuff like you do? Any of them?
They're all certified. One of them actually works out regularly. The other 2, they're so deep into their careers right now that they have kind of put the workout portion of their lives on the back burner. I'm hoping they get back into it because it's important to stay healthy. But at one point, all of them were very fit. Now, one of them works out regularly. The other 2, they're into their career right now. So
what are the age ranges of your children?
My twins are 20. They're going to be 28 years old, and my little one's 25.
Jesus, you look 28.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't look anywhere. I mean, it's like you had a kid at 10.
When my daughter Leslie was 16, Leslie, it looks as beautiful as her mother. She looked very adult, Grace Kelly looking. We traveled all through Europe, and we were in Italy, and we went up to our room, and it's one bed. And I said, Leslie, this is wrong. We went back to the desk, and I speak Italian. I said to him, Signora, you made a mistake here. He said, no. And he looked at the passports. He said, your name and her name are the same. Aren't you husband and wife? I said, no, this is my daughter. I'm 45. My daughter's 16. So we had that problem throughout Europe. People thought we were husband and wife because the same passports.
Yeah.
Now, if you had a son 28, and you went out
She
with
got
him.
all daughters, though.
No, but I think if you had a son, they would have thought.
Yeah, they would think the same thing. Hold on, because we've only got a minute.
Because
I
you
want to
look
get this
very
out.
young. You don't look. How old are you? You're not going to tell me.
No.
But I can add it up.
How old?
52.
52.
God bless you. You don't look it. You're going to be like me.
I
You're going to
hope
be an old bag like me, looking good. A good-looking old bag, I call myself.
So you guys, Linda Steele, you can follow her on Instagram. It's Linda Steele FitBod. You can go and get the book on Amazon. It's called Nerves of Steel, or you can go to nervesofsteel.net or lindasteelwellness.com. Just make sure you know that Steele is Steele. You can also see her on movie reviews and more on Tuesday nights with Brian Sebastian. And this is what the book looks like. Let's go get it. Let's get it to be a bestseller, like selling like 100,000 or 200,000 copies, because everybody needs to read the book. It's really a great book. Congratulations on writing it and all that you have overcome to become the fabulous person you are today.
And there are so many people out there who are going to need to read this book because they're in a jam. And if you're in a jam and you don't know what to do, read this book. It might give you the strength.
I appreciate that.
Or the way out. Get out of that friggin' marriage if it stinks. Life is beautiful outside.
Would you like to have a healthy relationship? I'm in a healthy relationship right now because I took some steps to get there, and that information's in the book as well.
Yay! All right,
I'm in a good relationship.
Because we're out of time.
I beat him up every morning for 1 hour. I punch him all over, and I tell him I'm the boss.
Linda, thank you so much. Congratulations,
thank you, Linda. You're wonderful.
You're fabulous. Thanks
And
everybody for tuning in.
We'll see you again
soon.
Okay, hope to. Bye bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye,
Thanks
darling.
chat room. Thanks everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you, Juan. We'll see you guys next week.
And I really don't beat him up.
Good night. Goodbye everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.